Tudor is like Rolex's little brother. If you didn't know already, Tudor is the sister company of Rolex. They were both founded by Hans Willdorf, and Tudor essentially releases more affordable versions of Rolex watches with the Tudor logo slapped in the middle of the dial. Now don't get it twisted, I'm actually a big Tudor fan. That may be due to the fact I can't afford a Rolex, so I aspire for the next best affordable watch, which is of course Tudor. But out of all of the Tudor models, the Black Bay stands out as the most recognised watch that Tudor has ever released, and you can't deny that watch is stunning. So I thought, why not hear what the man himself, Teddy B, has to say about the Tudor Black Bay.
Tudor has really become the Black Bay company for the most part, and I don't think this is a bad thing. I think they recognize what the Black Bay is really meant for the company, both economically, but also I think separating themselves from outside of the shadow of their bigger brother of Rolex. The family was first introduced back in 2012 alongside the Pelagos, a watch that I hope can get more love as well in the future, but I digress there, with the first Black Bay reference being the 79220R, a watch that I have reviewed and labeled as the most important Tudor watch ever made, which I think is a fair assessment given the economic impact it had on the brand. This early edition, along with the other colorways, remain some of my favorites of the line, even following other releases and considering they use added movements as a result of their thinner cases, easy serviceability, and the Tudor rose on the dial and that circular font at the 6 that I think is simple and minimal. Shortly after the success of these, Tudor then jumped into the world of in-house movements, with the first making its way into their North Flag and eventually making its way into the Black Bay shortly after.
Thanks for the small introduction into the Tudor Black Bay, Teddy, and what a watch to begin this video with. Right from the get-go, the Black Bay was an instant hit. Many people claimed it was extremely successful as it was essentially a cheap Rolex. However, I do struggle to find Rolex watches that look identical to the Black Bay. You might think, this looks like a Submariner, but when we compare the two watches together, you can see a clear difference in the model.
The thickness of these pieces were always an issue, running well over 14 millimeters, making them just a bit too chunky for those with smaller or medium-sized wrists out there, or just for those that wanted a more classic wearing experience. This thought amongst a lot of consumers made it clear that there was a segment of the market that the Black Bay was not meeting, which was finally addressed with the widely popular release of the Black Bay 58 Black in 2018. The watch did many things right. It took the popular looks of the line and combined it with the upside that came with the longer power reserve, the in-house movement, while providing it in a case size that wore like classic divers of decades prior.
Now in my opinion, this is the best Black Bay watch out there. The Black Bay 58 Black is perfect. You can expect to pay around £4,000 for this watch. I also think it fits and suits the majority of people's wrists, and we're all about saving money, so instead of picking up a Rolex for around £15,000, why not get a £4,000 Tudor Black Bay that is built to pretty much the same quality and the same level of finish for a more affordable price. It's a very respected watch and goes well in anyone's personal collection.
And with its success, it was only a matter of time before we saw another version of the Black Bay 58. And with it now being 2020, I think the only surprising factor about all of this in this entire process is how actually long it took for us to get here to get a new one. So with the overall perspective that I'm trying to take with this overall review here, it's very much going to be from a buyer perspective, because I have to say I am very much in the market for this watch. Personally, I was very much awaiting what Tudor was going to do at Basel last year. Now, Basel's of course no longer basically a thing anymore, but the world has certainly changed, but very excited in terms of being able to review this watch.
If you want to check out a full review of the Tudor Black Bay 58 Blue, I've linked Teddy's video in the description down below. But I'm just going to go and touch on a few key points about the Black Bay 58 Blue. First off, I'm just going to say it. I know I have some pretty controversial takes, but I still just prefer the Black Bay 58 Black. I think it's a classier watch, even though the blue dial isn't horrible. I'm just personally much more of a black dial type of guy. The only real major difference between the black and the blue 58 is the colours and a slight size difference, I believe. So for the full review, like I said, check the description down below for a link to Teddy's channel. But if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe if you're new.